3 police officers have been killed. David Begnaud is on the phone with us. He has been talking to high-level law enforcement sources all day. David, what do you know now?
Jamie, when I just got off the phone with you to take a call from Baton Rouge Police Headquarters, it was to find out the following information. According to law enforcement at the scene, 3 law enforcement officers are deceased. There are 3 more that have been shot. That gives us a total of 6. Now, here's why I'm using the term law enforcement officers. It's our understanding that some of the it's our understanding that some of the victims are Baton Rouge police officers, and some of them are East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputies. The clarification as to who belongs to whom is not being reported right now. All we know is 6 wounded. 3 are dead. 3 are at the hospital. We can confirm that 1 individual believed to be a suspect is deceased, and that there is a search ongoing right now for possibly 2 other suspects. When I questioned them as to how they know about the other suspects, they said, we're just getting that from information at the scene, so we're pursuing 2 others. So again, 6 law enforcement officers in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area have been shot. 3 are dead. 1 of the suspects is deceased, and there may be 2 other suspects.
Well, and, with those 2 other suspects, as we saw in Dallas, David, these types of situations, they want to go out of their way and make sure that when they're talking to witnesses, they gather all the information that they possibly can. In Dallas, I remember very clearly that morning we had been told that there were 4 suspects. And, of course, as the day went on, it became very clear that this was carried out by just 1 individual. So searching for 2 suspects now, 1 potential suspect dead, as you've been reporting, 6 officers shot, 3 of them dead. Do you find it of interest, David, when we were talking earlier about that plot that was unfoiled, the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office was very involved in foiling that plot and had provided extra resources to the Baton Rouge Police Department. Now both of these agencies are involved in this situation.
Well, yeah, and listen, I have to tell you from being on the scene, ever since, 24 hours after Alton Sterling died, this was a law enforcement effort, Jamie, that not only involved Baton Rouge Police, East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff, but it involved law enforcement agencies from around the state of Louisiana, and that's because the Baton Rouge police officers were exhausted. Some of them had been working shifts in excess of 18 hours.
That's a good point.
I remember asking one law enforcement officer, I've seen you here every day, almost all the time. What shouldn't you take a break? And he goes, I can't leave my guys out here. I even met the officer who had some of his teeth knocked out from a bottle that was thrown at him, and he said, I'm here tonight because I can't let my brothers do it alone. They were pulling law enforcement from as far away as Shreveport, which is in the northwestern corner of Louisiana, 4 hours from Baton Rouge, because that's how badly understaffed and exhausted they were. So when I got this call just now about how many were wounded, he said, please make it clear that we're not saying which came from what agency, because we had the Baton Rouge Police and the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office involved in this shooting. And what we don't know, Jamie, is, remember, the call initially came in as an officer-involved shooting. Right. That indicates to me that officers engaged the gunman. Shots were fired by law enforcement, right? But what we don't know is why those officers initially opened fire. Was it an ambush? The first call I got from a senior law enforcement official in Louisiana said a man was walking down Airline Highway and opened fire. Okay? So if the officers returned fire, that could have been why it was initially reported as an officer-involved shooting.
Right. Well, and I think, it's important to note, we have been talking about that this is about, a mile, 2 miles from the police headquarters. It does come as, of course, there's tension across not only Baton Rouge, but the country between the black community and police. But at this point in time, we don't know the motivation behind this shooting. We also don't know the races of the suspect, or, as you've been reporting, potential suspects, and the officers are not immediately known at this point either. So there's still a lot of information that needs to be gathered.
Absolutely, yeah. And we can tell you that the Louisiana State Police is heading up the investigation, which is customary anytime law enforcement agencies, local law enforcement agencies in Baton Rouge use their service weapons. The state police is always called in to handle the investigation, and that is what is happening right now. But again, one suspect is said to be dead at the scene, we're told, and there is a search ongoing for potentially 2 other suspects. But I want to caution you, so often, and Jamie, you've made this clear before, so often people say, well, you guys initially reported they're looking for 2, and it turned out there was only 1. We're just telling you what we're being told. And you can understand, as a law enforcement agency, on the scene, when they get information there may be 2 others, you have to treat it as if it's real. right? And
Absolutely.
so that's why the information is subject to change. And I would just caution everyone that it could change. And if the numbers do, it's not because of bad reporting. It's because the law enforcement agencies are adjusting their numbers and their facts as they become more clear.
Yeah, the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office just sending out an alert as well to what you have been reporting, David, that 3 law enforcement officers are confirmed dead, 3 others injured, 1 suspect dead, and that they do believe that 2 others may be at large. And that could be why we have been watching some of these live pictures from our affiliate WAFB. You can see right now the SWAT unit is arriving on scene right now. We had been told earlier that they believed that the situation was under control, but as David just pointed out, they are searching for potentially 2 other suspects in this case. It may be why we're now starting to see more activity in this live picture from the shooting scene. In Louisiana at this point in time. You can see also EMS, firefighters, and a number of other agencies arriving on scene as well because they are still potentially searching for 2 other suspects in this shooting. 1 suspect does appear to have died in this situation. David Begnaud, thank you so much